What's going on, everybody? I see you out there, Sim. You said the Terraform Study Group. Yeah, that's not my group. That's they formed on their own, so that's not my group on that one. What's going on, Don? What's going on, Judge J? You got a email. What email? What email did you get today? Where you been, Judge J? We ain't seen you. Where you at, Judge J? We been looking for you. Where you at, player? Did you finish studying? Did you get some certs? What's going on? Yeah, I know you're in the group, Sam. I'm just saying. Oh, okay. Got you. Got you. Yeah, Sam. Yeah. Y'all have fun. I can't conduct all the training. I can't do it. I used to. I used to want to do it. We used to do it every day. Just can't do it every day. Just can't do it every day. What time y'all start? 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock? Okay, that's cool. All right, so welcome to Programming Mondays. We started the first series off 2 weeks down on Bash. We're just regular for loops and so forth and so on. Today I'm just gonna go through some easy stuff, nothing fancy. We're gonna keep it real simple when it comes to Bash, like Vim, Bash. Those are gonna be your friends to start out. In fact, I think Bash is in the 134 class, but you're going to use Bash throughout your career with uh, tech. Bash, Python will probably be your go-to if you're doing anything. Linux wise, Rust will be something you'll add in later on, but normally that's it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could do it because in fact, I'm supposed to take the test next month. I'm supposed to take the test next month. I'm scheduled to take the test. Um, but life happens. Just life. Just life. Just life. All right. So, the last time we were here, we were going over just some just really basic. Hey, this is Bash. This is how you do stuff. Let me let me pull up um, my screen here. I actually got two screens. I'll probably do a two-screen share here. But let me give you some basics that we went over the last time. Like, you know, some basic fundamentals like LS. We did a LS minus L on stuff, things that we go over in our Wednesday classes and so forth. And then we got into for loops and writing files and reading files and so forth. Well, today we're going to probably play around with your favorite command. It's going to be your grep command, and also not just the grep command, but some grep arguments as well too that will probably help you. And I implore you to spend some time with grep because grep will help save you. We're gonna probably do a deeper dive into regular expression with awk, sed, grep, cut, sort, and so forth. So while I'm talking about it, let me do it now. So let's start out with let me write this file out. Let me do a cat to this file here. Let's do a cat. And let's make a file. We're gonna say regex.text and not cat. Let's vim that file. I'm gonna vim that file and then I'm gonna hit I for insert. And I'm gonna type in grep awk said egrep got replaced with grep. I'll just put egrep, but this has been replaced, right? Egrep is now just grep dash capital E, and we'll get into that. And offset grep sort cut, alt grep sort cut. There's a whole bunch of other ones. Hold on, let me find out all the other ones. I just don't remember off the top of my head right now all the other ones. See, we got cases, we got if else statements, if else, we got for loops. These are considered conditionals. I'll just put down here um, conditionals, and I'll just do this here so you know there's a difference there. And then we'll go back up here. That's regular expression. These are conditionals. For loops, if else statement, cases, while loops. Um, let's see what else am I forgetting on here. Offset, grid, yep. Sort, cut. I know it's one more I'm missing. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. I'm looking right now to see if it's something else I'm missing. Let me look. Let me look. No, I don't see it. It'll come to me when I'm typing. It'll come to me. All right. So tonight we're gonna work with we're gonna start off with grep, right? We're gonna start off with grep. Yeah, the pipe command is one, but I kind of like. Do I use pipe as a? Can we classify pipe as regular expression? Mm, questions on that one. I guess you can because you can filter. You can use it as a filter, but we'll see. Um, no, it's missing something. All right, so yeah, ampersand. That's if you want to push it in the background, and then double ampersand to complete and so forth. But let's work on grep. So we're gonna close this out. So we'll have that's really what we'll be going over the next couple of weeks is regular expression. All right. So the regular expression for that's on our list tonight is grep. So how do you know if grep is installed on your system? You can do which grep, and it'll tell you right here there's an alias to grep, and the alias for your grep automatically has a auto color on it, and the path in which grep is in is user bin grep, right? User bin grep, user bin grep, right? So you have grep at your disposal primarily on most Linux systems. That's usually a baseline install. So now we got to say, well, how the heck do I use grep? So do a man on grep. All right. So you can see here, you got the name right here. You got grep, egrep, fgrep, which print lines matching a pattern. Grep is going to allow us to look for patterns in files or search patterns in files that are under directories. And I will walk through these together. All right. So first thing first, anything that you see here that's in a bracket um, really is optional, but the stuff that's underlined is what you actually need. So basically, you guys mandatory. So basically, they're showing you here, like, hey, if you're gonna use options and it's underlined, you're gonna have to match whatever that option is requiring. But you don't have to have options. You can just do grep and then whatever. Then you have to have a pattern, or you have an option to have a pattern in a file or so forth, right? Or just a pattern. And we'll get more into that. But let's get in here. Let's grep searches for the name input files or standard input if no files are named, or if a single file hyphen minus is given as a file name. for lines containing a match for lines containing a match to be given to the pattern. By default, grep prints the matching line. Now you can tell grep not to print the matching line, but by default it prints out the matching line. Now this gets real. You can get real fancy with this by saying, "Hey, I'm going to grep something out of a file. I'm going to store that what I grep into a variable, and then I'm going to for loop through that, or I'm going to grep that information out of a file, and I'm going to store that onto a stack. If you're familiar with stacks and queues, or I'm going to take that information out of that file and go store it into another file, or I'm going to store it into a hash map. I know most of you probably have never heard of a hash map, so I'm going to pull that up. Hash map and bash. It is literally a hash map and bash is more where Python becomes easier for you to use. So here we go. A hash map and bash. Let me see that. Let me blow that up some. So a hash map and bash, also known as an associative array, is a data structure in the bash shell that allows you to store and retrieve values based on keys. Hash tables are useful for implementing data structures such as dictionaries, caches, and sets. All right, so that sounded like a whole bunch of nothing to you, probably, right? So if you follow along in Python, you have dictionaries where I can say, I have first name, last name, well, first name, middle name, last name, and I can have a person's first name be my what we call key, and then the second one I can have value. Oh, you're welcome, learning and earning. Thank you. Right, I can have a key, which is the first is the key. So let me write that out for you so that it doesn't sound crazy as I'm doing this. Let me pull up my other terminal here. Not that one. This one. Well, it doesn't matter. Cool. All right. So basically, what it would look like. Let's see. Let me do Vim example. Um, yeah, let's just do it. Example dictionary. Hot text. So what they're saying when we're talking about a hash map, um, or in this case, a dictionary, this is where the developer, or you, the sysadmin, have to figure out which one is going to be easier for the use, right? When I say that, it's easier to make and create dictionaries in Python than it is in Bash. But they're just associative arrays. And I'll pull up an associative array in Bash, and then I'll pull up a key value inside of Python. Now, note, this whole conversation is about grep, but I got off on a tangent because I wanted you to know what the differences are. And you got to figure out which one you want to use. I tell you now, it's easier to use Python for some of your scripting stuff. And then sometimes it's easier to use the bash shell inside of Python to do some scripting. And it really depends on you. So, key value, right? So, normally you'll have something like this. You'll have first, and then you'll have a key, and we'll just go with Lucy, and then you'll have last, and let me put it down here. We'll have last, and it's not how it looks, but just giving you what they're talking about key value when we're talking about key value pairs. We'll have last, and we'll call it Pearl, Lucy Pearl, right? That's what we'll do it. Where first is the key, but the value associated with that first name is Lucy. And last is the key, and the value associated with that is Pearl. All right. So that's typically what you'll see inside of a dictionary or hash map. So let me look up, give you an example of associative array so you know the difference when you see one. Let me pull it up in Bash here so you can get an example. Now I cut and paste it over here. I have some, but I just want to give you what that looks like. All right. Do 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 do. Okay. So here's where it gets funky. And the book that I was going over actually went through this. And I wanted to pause before we got here because this is showing you how to declare an array and then how to input information into that array. All right. So here's and we can run this too. And let's go here. So here we declare an associative array, right? Declare dash A. Now, when you're not sure what declare is, let's go back over here and see if we can. I think we could do a man on declare. Let me man declare. Can we do that? Yeah. It just gives me the names, but it's just a default way. Let me look and see if it's in here. All right, here it is. So declare here is where we say we have that capital A. You can see we got options. You can do a lowercase a, you can do a capital F, lowercase f, whatever the case may be. And then you can see here they're saying you got a name and it's a value associated with it. So here we're saying declare variables or give them attributes. If no names are given, then display the values of the variable. The dash P option would display the attributes and the values of each name. So they kind of go through each one right here, but we're going to jump down here to the options. The dash A, each name is an associative array variable. All right. So now when we come back over here, each one of these names, you see I have again a key value. I'm pushing stuff on into this array, and the first thing I push fruit, and then I say the value is equal to mango. So the key is fruit and the value is mango. The key is bird, the value is cocktail, the key is flower, the value is rose, and the key is animal and the value is tiger. And so here they're saying, okay, well, you can do all of that. So we could literally do this. So let's go over to our thing. I'm gonna move this back over here, and we're gonna make up on an associative array. So let me cut and paste this, and I'll put this into the file so we can have it as a reference. So we have it as a reference. So here we're saying that this is an associative. I think I spelled that right. Forgive me for the spelling. So here's an associative array. All right. So basically, here, this is what a dictionary looks like. Key value. And more than likely, you use this with Python. Right? So now you see the difference in the syntax, but the output is probably more than likely going to be the same. All right. So now we'll save that. Right? That's an example dictionary and an associative array in there. We have examples. All right. So now let's do a declare dash P, not dash P, but dash A, and we'll say, let's name some meats. All right. Let's call this meats array. And notice I use camel syntax, meaning that I'm always gonna first letter lowercase, second letter uppercase. I almost said something else, but it's camel syntax. But that's what it is. All right, so I'm declaring my associative array, and we know from using the declare statement that each name is an associative array variable, and then it also says C array. Okay, so we got that right. Everybody with me so far? Put a one in the chat if you with me so far. Sorry, so I declared my array. There's nothing in my array. Literally, there's nothing in my array. I don't have anything in there. So basically, I just initialized an array. I don't have nothing in it. And now I need to output my array, right? So right now, if I do echo dollar sign, and this is where it gets funky, um, meet array. And then I don't have anything in here as far as a key, right? I don't have a key here, right? I don't have anything key. It's just an empty array. I don't have anything, but I can let's see. Let's see what happens when I just do echo meets array. It shouldn't do anything. It should just be like that's one. It's not a variable, and two right now it's an array. In order to access the array, I'm going to need to jump into a for loop, but we're going to do it based upon the key value here. Yeah, camel case. So here we go. All right, so I declared my array up here, right? I'll do it again. Boom, array declared. So now let's put three meats into our array. Let's put three meats into our array. All right. So remember the way we declared it, right? We declared it, and now we're saying, okay, we can do I guess we could do fish and pick a particular fish, then we can do a steak and pick a particular steak, and then we could do something else. All right, so let's go. All right, so we got meats array, and now I got to choose a key, right? So now my key is going to be fish, and then what fish do I want? We could say snapper. That'd be nice to make it uppercase, right? And then I can do the up arrow here because I don't want to type all that again. And then I'll put steak and we'll do flank. And then we'll use the up arrow again and we'll change this to, let's do a particular chicken part. And let's just do thigh, right? Oop, I got an equal sign and I got space. See, I immediately was like, I don't know what you want me to do. All right, so now I just want to get one value out of this array, just one value. So how can I get one value out of this array? Well, this is where I do echo and then dollar sign. And this is where I say you win with using Python at this point. We'll grab that there. And then we'll come here and you see that I used the key to access a value in the array. Here, if I change this to fish, I use the key. Oh, it's not fish. Oh, look, it's still giving me fish. It gave me fish. It didn't give me snapper. Look at that. You see that? Let's see what happens if I do steak. Still gave me thigh. Mmm. Mmm. All right. Let's see if we can print the whole array. Let's do our for loop here. Let me see what happens here. Because that shouldn't have happened. We should have been able to print the keys and the values in it. So let's go. All right, so now let's see if we can access I may have to do this from here. For key in, and let me pull this over. It should have gave me all of them. It should have gave me the values. Let's see what happened. Now we're gonna access the array, meets array. And let's go here. Yeah, I didn't need to pass this the one. You're catching up to the video. That's probably what that is. And then let's go here. And then let's do echo dollar sign key and then done. Okay, then pull it. That's interesting. Let's see. What is my array name? Yeah. Meets array. Yeah. Meets array for key in. The meets array give me everything. The at sign should give you everything and echo dollar sign key and then done. Let me see something here. Let me do stake there, then let me pull this and see if I am missing something. What am I missing? Yeah, it's still not giving me anything. Interesting. All right. So in all else fails, we're gonna do this. Array dot text, or we'll say arrays dot text because array may be a keyword. And then we'll go back and do a declare. Well, hold on. Let me do my thing. Being bash my shebang, and then we'll declare mm-mm-mm, dash a. We'll say meets array, right? We'll declare that, and then what we'll do is we'll throw all this into a for loop. All right, so now let's set up our array. Meets our array, and we had fish. Then we said snapper. And then now I'm just gonna yank this line right here and put it in here twice. And then I am going to go here and put in stake. And then we'll change this to flank. And then we'll change this to chicken and we'll put thigh again. And we'll do thigh. All right, so now we created a script so far that declares an associative array, and then it prints out, oops, I know what it is. I got an extra A right here too. I think I caught that because then I'll be like, where is my thing? I got an extra R. That's what I got right there. Go back. I got an extra R. All right. Okay, cool. Now it looks right. All right. Now we need a for loop for printing out our stuff. So let's see if we can get this for loop to print out what we got in this array. All right. So now we do a for key in, and we want to grab what's in the array. And then in this array is meets array, right? And then the value we want everything in there. That's where this comes into play. Oops, bracket. All right. And now we want to did I do that right? No, that one right there. Do echo dollar sign key because that's the value now, and then done. Right. So let's see if this works now. All right. So now let's do. I need to move this over to my bad arrays dot bash script dot sh, and then I need to chmod that so I can make it an executable. Chmod plus x, and let's clear that screen. And now let's do this. So there you go. It printed out steak, chicken, and fish, right? It printed out my keys. You see that, right? It printed out my keys. Now we want to set it up where it prints out the values. Let me double verify, make sure we got everything right. Yep. Yep. So we printed out the keys. Now we want to print out the actual what is in the array. We want to print out what's in the array. So now in order for us to print out what's in the array, let me go back up here and then let me do arrays.sh. So here we printing keys. I'll go here and put echo we printed keys. Right. I'll take these two lines, two yank yank, and I'll paste right below that, and then I'll just do an open command right here. Now we're gonna print values. So now we're gonna print the values. All right. So we'll call this vowels. All right. So now in order to print the values for these, I'm going to change these to this to val. And then here we're going to do $ val. All right. But one other little thing we got to do is get rid of this exclamation point right there. So now when we do this, I'm going to clear my screen. And now I'm going to do sh arrays.sh. Let's see, we got an unexpected. Let's see what happened. Oh, I might have missed a double quote. Did I miss one double quote here? Oh, right there. I got a double quote right there. Cool. Gotta have good eyes when you do these things. All right, so now we say we printed keys, and now we print the values. So the keys were steak, chicken, and fish, and the values out of each one of those was flank, thigh, and snapper. Right. So what we've done is we created a hash map. That's basically what we did. On an associated array, right? So with that being said, this is just one way to declare an array, an associated array with a key value pair inside of a bash setup. The major difference is the key. When you do the key, this is what right here, this is going to be your main point right here, is that you have to do the exclamation point and the at sign to get to utilize the keys that you want to print out. When you get rid of the exclamation point, then you're actually now printing the values that are in that array, right? We're just printing the values. I printed the keys and then I printed the values. All right. I hope that made sense for everybody. Right. All right. So that's one. Back to our regular scheduled program was our main man grep. So when we go over here to grep, we have different things we can do with grep. We have the version. We can do extended regular expressions. We can do fixed strings as a pattern. We can even use per regular expression, right? Mostly what people mainly use is grep dash e dash c dash w dash l dash I dash r or dash n. All right. So E for regular expression. F if you want to obtain patterns from a file, one per line. I for ignoring cases. Inverted match. Invert the sense of matching to select non-matching lines. Right. Word expression. Like you want to select lines and you want to match by whole words. Dash X, select only those matching the exactly the match in the whole line, and the Y is obsolete. Then you can do a count. You can change colors. Files, you can list files without matches, files with matches. The dash N down here, you got a maximum count, only matching. You can do it quietly, you can suppress, and so forth. All right, so the dash N is one of the main ones. So I do have some files that I already created. I created a file here called food.txt, and I'm gonna open that file. And in here, I put chicken soup, cabbage soup, Caesar, potatoes, broccoli, parsley, chicken tenders, taco shells, what have you. Right? And then I've created another file called monday.txt. And in this file, I got New World and AI and ML. We're going to start with this particular file, which is monday.txt. All right? It's nothing but two things in there. So now in this file, I want to say grep. Um, I want to do grep world. And then I want to grep star. So I'm saying in this directory, and there's a directory in this directory as well too, so it's going to error out on me. Well, it's going to give you, you'll see it. It's going to look for the word world in those files, and it's going to say, hey, this is a directory. What do you want me to do with it? So you see the test came up, but you saw I had a file in there called New World. I mean, you saw in that file I had New World. So why didn't world return? Well, it didn't return because it's case sensitive, right? It's case sensitive. So if we look at this, if we cat, um, let me hold on. Get rid of that. If we cat, what's the name of that file? Oh, it's Monday. Text. You see, new world is in all caps, and I told it to grab just world. So now, if we do a grep on dash I, and then world, and then we do star, you see that it still complains about that directory because it's like, what do you want me to do with that, right? You want me to go into that directory or what, right? So now what I should have did is, let me do this dash V. See that the conditional is going through everything, right? Verbosely. So let me clear it. So when I do the grep dash I, it said ignore the case. That's what that dash I and said, oh, I ignored the case, and it's in Monday.txt, right? New world. I mean, the word world is in new.txt. I mean, Monday.txt. So now, if we start playing around with it, if I do, let me go do this for you. So if I vim Monday.txt and I do colon set nu, you see the line, it gives me the number, it gives me the line numbers 1 and 2. Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type world here, underscore. I mean, lowercase. All right, now I'm going to clear my screen again. And now I'm going to tell it to ignore the case, right? We're going to ignore case and then give me world. And you notice that it doesn't give me the line numbers of where it appears in that file. If I want the line numbers, I had to pass the dash in, and then they give me the line numbers on where that appears in the file, and the fact that I ignored the case in the file as well too, right? I ignored the case that was in that file because world is capitalized, and then I wrote a lowercase in there, and it tells me the exact lines of where that's located in that file. So I don't have to go search that file for everything, but I could. Now, speaking of searching that file, if I go Monday.txt, and then I just let me move my screen up some here. If I type, if I do a slash here at the bottom, and because that means I want to search, I'm going to search for AI. And you can see that it comes up highlighted and it tells me that's the only place. So it hits the lines of where that's at. If I came back over here and did a slash and did OR, see that it didn't find the capitalized OR, it found only the lowercase OR. So within Vim itself, you can use regular expression in order to find things inside of a file that's case sensitive, right? So here I do, if I do set IC, meaning ignore case, it went back and found that capital O and that capital R, and it found the lowercase o and the lowercase r because I did a set, I did colon set space IC, meaning ignore case, and it found it for me, right? Set colon set IC, and it found it for me, right? So now I'm gonna get fancy. I'm now gonna say colon percent s, and I'm going to change capital world to lowercase world, and I'm going to do that globally. So what I did here at the bottom, I said change uppercase to lowercase. There are other ways to do this. I'm just giving you an example. and I do that, and now world just changed, and I'm gonna save that, and then I'm gonna run my command again, and I'm going to just take the I out because I just know that I just changed it, and now it tells me it's in there at one and at two. I mean one and three, right? So okay, but now in this folder that I'm in, there's another directory, and maybe I want to search for new world, um, and I want to ignore case, and I want to recursively search that directory. So I do grep. Well, I want the line number in which you find that world in. I want you to ignore the case, and I want you to recursively look down in directories. So that's where that's at. So basically, I could do this. I could do copy. Let's copy Monday.text over to test, and let's clear. And then now let's do it again. So now you see that new world shows up in the parent directory I'm in, and then it tells you the directory and the line number in which that shows up in. Tells you the directory and the line number in which that showed up in. Right? So so far we learned about grep dash I, we learned about grep dash n, we learned about grep dash r. Now, there's another grep that we need to be very familiar with, another part of an argument. Let's go back to man grep. I think I'm going to say egrep for another time because we may not have enough time to do grep, egrep. All right, so I'll probably say that for next week. So we went over matching, and we did the ignore case. And what I didn't do was the word, right? Select only the lines containing the word that matches the whole form. All right, so now what we do know is if I do a grep dash W, and I say let's do dash n on this because we're gonna tell it to recursively go down. And let's do star. So you can see, oh yeah, you see that I took the dash R out, it didn't do it, right? So it didn't recursively go down into the directory. It just told me, hey, what you want me to do with that? So that's what that looks like. So let's say if I don't want to search the whole directory, let's say I just want to search just one file. I can do Monday.text, and it'll just tell me that on line one and line three of that file, you got um, new world in there, right? But notice that here that we don't have. I changed this to a lowercase, so I didn't have to ignore the case, right? So if I change this to new, it's not gonna find anything. Why? Because the case. Because of the case, I have to tell it to ignore the case, and it'll find that capital new, right? All right, so we play with um INRW, and now let's do the C. So let's do a man on grep, and then let's do the dash C, and let's go back and see what it says. Dash C, suppress normal output instead of print a count of matching lines for each one for each file. All right, so let's go do that. So let's get rid of everything here. We're not going to ignore case. We're going to do a V, and it says, oh, not V, C, sorry. So it tells me that it didn't find anything because again, new is capitalized. So, but if I add my dash I here, it just gives me a count that it shows up one time. So let's clear my screen, and then let's come back over here and do a star um wildcard, and then let's do dash R and tell it to look recursively down. And notice that it looks throughout all the files in here, including the directory, and it says we didn't find nothing in arrays dot sh. We didn't find nothing there. We didn't find nothing here. We did find something in Monday. We did find something in new password, and under the directory test and Monday.txt we found something. So it said, hey, these are the occurrences of where it's at. It didn't give you exact numbers of where it's at. It didn't give you exact numbers. You would have to go back and pass that dash in, right? We got to change that too because the dash in and the dash in, even with it on there, it didn't do it, right? So let's see if we can get a dash in to tell us to work with us and tell us everything. So recursively down count. I wonder if I got getting rid of the count when it tells me. Yeah. So it looks like, all right. So what it looks like, um, you can't use C in conjunction with N. You have to use it by itself. And these are little nuances that's probably written listed in the file. But notice that it went through and it found Monday.txt had an occurrence of new because I ignored the case, but it also found in new password, new user one, new user two, and then under Monday it found it as well too, right? And that's because I did it recursive down, but I got rid of the C. So with the count, it won't give you count and where it's located in the file in which it found it in. You can't use those together, and that's something you have to play around with and figure out. And sometimes they'll list it, right? So I hope y'all had fun with some of the grep today and the associated array. um, I'll go back in here and look at grep. We'll do egrep next week, and I'll probably introduce alt and sed next week and cut. And then egrep allows you to match multiple patterns, right? Here the dash L files with matches, right? Suppress normal output instead of print the name of each input file from which the output would normally have been printed, right? The dash L. So let's try it. Let's curious. Let's get rid of that and let's do dash L. So it just gives you the files in which it found new in. It just gives you the files in which it found new in. It didn't give you the line, but the files in which to look in. So if you got a big directory that you need to find the word in, and you just want to know what files you need to search, what files to look for. I mean, what files may contain those words or whatnot. That's one. This is one way to do it. Another one would be some other parser or something like that. This is where your value of Python and so forth comes into play. All right. I hope y'all had fun with grep. Just a little something for programming money. You learned about associative arrays. You learned about key value. You learned about grep and different ways you can use grep, and you learn how to read demand pages all in one, right? For more information like this, come see us on Wednesday at Women in Linux. We'll be going over some bash commands this week. I try to introduce it now and then introduce it again on Wednesday. Until then, I hope y'all had fun. Catch you on the next show.